And Explo. From culinary arts to veterinary science, Explo's summer program helps middle schoolers to find their spark. Day and overnight options at explo.org/summer. Priority deadline February 13th. And Subaru of New England. The all-wheel drive 2025 Subaru Crosstrek is designed for New England terrain. Subaru retailer locations at subaruofnewengland.com.
You're listening to GBH's Morning Edition. Snow should be ending most places by 11, certainly by noon if you're completely out of the region. We're going to see some sun coming through and highs will be in the low to mid-30s. Coming up after the news at 9, the Pentagon says it's prepared to act upon the orders of President Trump, and it's placed 1,500 active duty troops on standby to potentially deploy to Minnesota. We'll get the latest on that. We'll hear all the morning's news right here on GBH 89.7.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Michelle Martin.
And I'm Steve Inskeep. On this Martin Luther King holiday, somebody is going to play you a clip of the I Have a Dream speech. It is well worth listening, but there is a lot more to hear, so our colleagues pulled something else from the archives.
Reverend King, were you born here in the South?
Yes, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
We found a series of interviews with Eleanor Fisher that started in 1961. She was a reporter with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation who later worked for NPR.
And your father is a pastor here, is that true?
Yes, he pastors the Ebenezer Baptist Church here in Atlanta.
Now, this series of interviews was packed away for years until our member station WNYC brought them to light again in 2013.
The first conversation took place when King was 32 years old, but he still remembered first becoming aware of racism when he was 5. King asked his mother why the white kids in his Atlanta neighborhood stopped playing with him.
She tried to explain the best way she could to a child just 5 years old the problems which Negroes confronted in the South as a result of the legacy of slavery and then segregation.
It must be a very difficult job for any mother. I wonder if any mother really can explain this to a child, especially a sensitive child.
Well, it's almost impossible to thoroughly explain it. It seems to me that the only thing that the mother can do, the Negro mother, is try from the beginning to instill in the child a sense of somebodyness. This is what my mother tried to do. She made it very clear that in spite of these conditions, you are as good as anybody else, and you must not feel that you are not. And this was her way of saying you should not have an inferiority complex.
Did you develop a sense of inferiority?
I don't think I ever felt a conscious sense of inferiority. I always felt from the example and the words that my mother had given all along that I was somebody.
Hear the gravitas even in his early 30s. Martin Luther King Jr. in a 1961 interview with CBC reporter Eleanor Fisher.
There is a new study underway in New York to test whether a combination of exercise and pills can prevent or delay age-related diseases. The study includes healthy adults at least 65 years old. NPR's Allison Aubrey reports.
If you want to live to 100, you may be in good company. Eventually, by mid-century, the number of centenarians is expected to quadruple. But what good is this milestone if you're in poor health? That's Robert Perfusek's take. He's a lawyer in his early 70s.
Yeah, I don't really want to live forever. If that means being in a not vital state. But the idea of extending your runway, that's very attractive.
He jumped at the chance to participate in the new study, now underway at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. The goal is to help people remain vital for longer, which is no easy feat.
Oh my God, look at this
Dr.
now.
Thomas Marin is part of the research team. He points to an explosion of interest in anti-aging elixirs, supplements, injections, and pills.
We want to study all these drugs because a lot of people are popping these drugs and you can get anything under the sun online. But it makes me very concerned when patients come in and they ask me, they say, should I take this? And I say, I have no idea. There's no science behind it.
To begin building the evidence, his team is testing a combination of 3 interventions, each of which has shown some promise. The first element is high-intensity interval training mixed with resistance band workouts. In addition, all the participants will take a popular supplement, often marketed for healthy aging, as well as a generic medication, both of which have anti-inflammatory effects.
As we get older, the immune system is also getting older, and the immune system is really shifting away from, good inflammation,
which is the body's short-term acute response to fend off injury or infection and promote healing.
That's enough, okay?
In contrast, chronic inflammation,
show you a
which
little
happens
bit.
when there's no injury or invader,
I have to
can
go
be
get my
harmful.
stuff.
and this sort of bad inflammation that happens as you get older
Just
really
show you,
underlies the development of many
Nice
different
area. See the
diseases.
truck.
Everything from cancer
That will push
to
the
heart
snow
disease
away.
to dementia. The
Okay,
goal
guys,
is to
that's
measure
enough. Okay,
changes in
bye-bye.
inflammation